What if there was, there's plenty of what ifs.
What if we didn't have corruption,
persecuciones o guerras,
HIV,
AgSARITA,
ageism,
discrimination,
stigma.
ماذا لو فهم الجميع في العالم معنى أن تكون مهاجراً بعيداً عن أهلك، بعيداً عن ناسك، بعيداً عن وطنك؟
I always think, what if my home just disappears? What if my whole country disappears? And what if my daughter never gets to see it?
What if the world was cleaner?
What if my child could grow up in a world where climate change wasn't a constant threat and where cities were pollution-free?
أمنيتي لها خاصة بعدل الفرق بين المدينة وبرات المدينة.
Tous les jours, on voit les villes grandir, on voit un exode rural des populations, et cela vient avec beaucoup de problèmes, des problèmes de logement, des problèmes d'insalubrité, des problèmes de santé publique.
By 2050, globally, there will be more people over the age of 60 than children. So we need to plan for age-friendly cities.
Но это единственным образом можно решить. Один шаг за шагом.
There's so many people that have nothing, and there's so few people that have a lot. And you think about inequality. So important to understand that we need a world that is more equal.
What if we lived in a world where all that mattered was how we cared about each other?
We're all deserving of the same kind of care and love and health and education. And these are just all basic necessities that we should all have access to.
世界上的贫富差距应该可以减少，而且将会有更多的工作机会给新的一代。
New technology can do things that are completely undreamt of. What if it was used for bringing education to rural areas?
Tout ce que je suis devenu, c'est vraiment cette éducation que j'ai reçue à la base. Et je pense que si moi je peux accéder à cette éducation, tous les enfants du monde doivent avoir accès à ça aussi.
如果全世界一起合作，打造一个共享的网络空间，那么所有人都能够参与数字经济。
¿Qué tal si en el mundo nos escucháramos?
When we bring our minds together, those ideas become innovation.
I think my only what if, out of many what ifs, would be what if every young person was empowered to reach their full potential?
What if the world was a more secure place for young people like me?
Мы все в этом мире бременные. Y у нас есть путь выбрать.
Cuando digo que hace falta solidaridad entre países, también es solidaridad entre las personas.
What if all the nations understand that we are so powerful? We should be the instrument of peace. We should be the peace.
What if leaders and communities would understand that they should use dialogue and not conflict to address their differences?
Si c'est possible.
Do I think this is possible? Yes, because I'm an optimist.
I'm an optimist.
We need your opinions, your strategies, your ideas for us to be able to deliver better for the people of the world that we must serve.
We can change this game.
It is absolutely essential that you all join the conversation.
Everybody has to contribute. We don't have an option.
Everybody needs to talk. We need to come together.
What would the world be like?
There are 30 million young Filipinos today. When they are empowered, they can create a prosperous and sustainable future for humanity. How? Let's focus on just one girl. Let's call her Nina. Nina can fulfill her dreams if we give her the power to shape her own future. She can be an inspiring leader, a productive worker, an innovator, a caring parent, or a key person in her community. But without proper support and access to opportunities, her future will be at stake. That is why the United Nations Population Fund is supporting the conduct of a 15-year study that will follow a group of 5,000 10-year-old girls and boys from all over the Philippines. We want to learn the changing needs of Filipino youth like Nina for the next 1.5 decades, so we can give them access to the best solutions. Because what the world will look like in 15 years depends on our power to unlock the potential of a 10-year-old today. Will you let their future slip away?
Mag-ingat.
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 Hindi lang COVID-19 ang virus na nilalabanan natin ngayon.
Hindi lang iisang virus.
Human immunodeficiency virus.
May COVID-19 man o wala, people are still having sex.
Kung walang proteksyon, maaaring tumaas ang panganib para sa ating mga Pilipino na makakuha ng HIV.
Kasama na dito ang mga kabataang babae.
Mga kabataang men having sex with men or MSM.
Mga buntis.
At mga survivors ng sexual na karahasan.
Stay protected. Education is prevention.
Mahalagang alamin ang mga paraan kung paano maiiwasan ang HIV sa panahon ng COVID-19.
Kahit may pandemya, importanteng abot kamay sa lahat ng Pilipino ang mga serbisyo at programa na patungkol sa HIV.
Online man yan o digital, mga services na madaling puntahan o isang text o tawag lang.
Stay protected and safe. Alamin ang iyong HIV status.
Magpa-test.
Makipag-ugnayan sa mga health facilities.
Upang magkaroon ng access sa gamot, impormasyon, testing, and counseling.
Para sa mga sexually active, ang wastong paggamit ng kondom ay epektibong paraan para maiwasan ang sexually transmitted infections, HIV,
at hindi planadong pagbubuntis.
Alamin ang iyong status. Para sa mga buntis, regular na magpa-check up sa inyong midwife o doktor. Mahalaga rin na sa birthing clinic o ospital manganak para masiguradong mabantayan ang ligtas na kalagayan ni nanay at baby. Hinihikayat din ng mga nanay na magpa-HIV test para patuloy na mapangalagaan ang kalusugan ng mag-ina.
Sa mga kababaihan naman na nais magpuwang o nais umiwas muna sa pagbubuntis, alamin at pumili ng family planning method na hiyang sa iyo.
Makipag-ugnayan. Para sa mga survivors ng gender-based sexual violence, maaaring makakuha ng post-exposure prophylaxis or PEP mula sa mga Women and Children Protection Units para maiwasan ang pagkahawa ng HIV.
Sama-sama tayo. Alamin natin ang mga paraan kung paano maiwasan ang HIV sa panahon ng COVID-19.
Stay protected.
Education is prevention.
Mag-ingat.
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 Mag-ingat. Stay safe.
Ayan!
Ayan, Mars!
Hello!
Hi,
Hello,
Mars!
Hi, Mars! Okay, naimbag nga malam kada tayo amin kakabsat o isang magandang hapon po sa bawat isa. Kumusta? Kumusta po ang lahat? 7 buwan na pala ang nakalipas matapos tayong humarap sa new normal. At bilang bahagi ng new normal sa ating peer education sessions, narito kami muli para sa isang panibagong kwentuhan. Ako po si Maki na nagsasabing hindi lahat ng pogi nag-aartista dahil yung iba nag-co-host sa FB Live at yung isa, pinapanood nyo na.
Ayan, Mars. So, isang hapon na naman na puno ng kaalaman at kasiyahan ang ating matutuklasan dahil sa pangatlong pagkakataon, magkakasama na naman tayo sa hashtag AgSARITA, Agtutubo+Sarita. So, I am Nix na nagsasabing, kung ang kagandahan ay kasalanan, patawarin niyo po ako, tao lang. Kakabsat Ken Kagayem, welcome to the 3rd episode of hashtag AgSARITA.
Agtutubo? Umay kayon, AgSARITA tayo.
Ayan, so kumusta ka naman, Mars?
Ayos naman, Mars. Lumalaban pa rin naman sa online class. Ikaw, Mars, bilang first year college ka pa lang. Bagong-bago sa kolehiyo, ah.
Alam mo, Mars, sobrang na-culture shock ako. Di ko in-expect na ganito pala sa college. Pero alam mo, sabi mo nga, Mars, laban lang. Mars, nga pala, sa ating mga new viewers at refreshment na rin sa mga patuloy na sumusuporta sa atin, ano nga ba ang AgSARITA?
Ayun na nga, Mars, ang hashtag AgSARITA are Agtutubo+Sarita. These are Iloco words which means youth and to talk. Hence, an online platform for an intergenerational dialogue with young people and advocates on adolescent, sexual and reproductive health and rights and mental health awareness.
Ayan, tumpak ka dyan, Mars. Nagpapasalamat kaming lahat sa inyo na patuloy ninyong sumusuporta sa aming AgSARITA series. So last episode with Miss Earth Air na si Ate Patricia Santos, umabot tayo ng 2.7 thousand views at 7.3 thousand reach. Grabe!
So, palakpak naman dyan.
Yes, naman. So, tsaka nga pala, Mars, on behalf of APEER Ilocos, sir, we would like to greet APEER International as they celebrate their 20th anniversary as they work for the advancement in the field of adolescent, sexual, and reproductive health and rights, present in 52 countries around the world.
Wow, at nakaka-proud naman talaga ang APEER International, Mars. At syempre, we would also like to greet United Nations as they also celebrate 75 years of service.
Ayan. So ayun na nga, Mars. Hindi pa man dumarating ang pandemya, matagal na nating kinakaharap ang mga problemang pangkalikasan.
Alam mo, Mars, sa nararanasan din nating pandemya ngayon, lahat tayo ay humarap sa new normal. Lahat tayo nag-adjust, lahat tayo hinarap ang pagsubok na ito. Kaya naman, hindi may iwasan na may mga pagkakataon na may iilan sa atin na nakakaranas din ng anxiety at depression.
Tama ka, Mars. Kaya naman sa hangin natin kalagayan ng ating pag-iisip. Ang tema natin sa hapong ito ay mental and environmental health amidst pandemic. Espesyal ang bisita natin ngayon dahil minsan na niyang iwinagayway ang bandera ng Pilipinas sa larangan ng beauty pageant.
Alam kong nasasabik na ang lahat na makilala siya. But before na magkaroon tayo ng tsikahan with our guest speaker na formal nating ipapakilala, maya-maya lamang gusto muna naming banggitin ang mga house rules para sa isang malaya at mapayapang tsikahan. Let's watch this.
Ayan, mga kapatid ha, kaya sit back and relax. Maliban sa house rules, babatiin ko lang ang ating mga kapatid na nanonood sa ating live ngayon. So, shout out nga pala sa Team Jovit ko dyan, Jovit Circle, tsaka sa Team Malakas na grabe, full support, so much love. Thank you so much sa pagsuporta sa AgSARITA episode natin for today.
Alam mo, Mars, hindi ko magpapatalo sa'yo. Shout out sa buong angkan ko na nanonood ngayon. At shout out din sa BSMLS 2A na nanonood, maging ang RQ1 family, BS family na nanonood ngayon. At special mention po kay Spencer at Zelina na lagi nanonood sa akin dahil mamaya magpapalibre na naman. Good, Mars. Magpasa na tayo ng comment, Mars. Shout out tayo dito sa comments.
Sige, Mars. Ayun, so shout out tayo kay Marinella Amancio Garcia. Hello, Mar. Shout out sa iyo dyan.
Ako naman, shout out kay Ate Clizel Joey de Masuay na kontribida na naman.
Grabe, Ate Clizel.
Hello po, Ate. We miss you po.
Ayan, Mars.
Ayan. So, sa puntong ito, Mars, nais naming magpasalamat sa nag-iisang kuya ng APEER at ang ating butihing senior board member ng Provincial Government of Ilocos Sur na si Kuya Jaime Jimboy Singson. Palakpakan naman natin siya, Mars. Ito dapat
yan. Oo, grabe. Dapat power clap talaga, Mars. Alam mo, Mars, nagpapasalamat talaga tayo kay Kuya Jimboy dahil binibigyan niya talaga tayong mga kabataan ng ganitong pagkakataon. Siya na talaga ang kuya natin since day one.
Tama ka dyan, Mars. Alam mo, Mars, parang nga siyang kanta ni Daniel Padilla eh. Alam mo yun? Nasa'yo na ang lahat. Pero alam mo, Mars, may isa akong hinihiling na sana magkaroon na siya kasi mukhang wala pa siya nito eh. Since may kuya na ang APEER, sana naman magkaroon na rin kami ng ate.
Ate. Yeah, tama kapatid. Tama, Mars.
By the way, partner, naaalala ko nga pala, yung mga community-based peer education sessions natin na sobrang miss ko na ginagawa natin sa ating community like schools, barangays, and municipalities dito sa Ilocos Sur.
Tumpak ka dyan, Mars, nakakamiss nga ang mga peer eds natin. So, upang mas magkaroon pa kayo ng ideya kung ano nga ba ang advokasya ng APEER Ilocos Sur, heto po ang audio-visual presentation na nakuha mula sa iba't ibang community peer ed sessions na isinasagawa natin. So, here is APEER over the years. Let's watch this.
Bigla ako mag-peer ed tsaka mag-training.
Same here, Mars.
Parang kailan lang. Alam mo, Mars, parang kailan lang nung nasa training pa tayo sa Ovema Resort. Kumusta naman ang experience mo dun, Mars?
Sa totoo lang, Mars, yung training na yun pa lang ang pinaka-the best among the rest ng mga natendan ko na. Tsaka hindi mga kaibigan yung natagpuan ko sa APEER, kundi isang pamilya. From the bottom of my heart, I felt that APEER is a safe place for everyone.
Yes, tumpak ka dyan, Mars. Anyway, eto na. Ang susunod namang makakatsikahan natin ay isa sa co-founder ng APEER Ilocos Tour. Excited na ako. Isa siya sa mga pinakaunang ate namin sa APEER. Ang hinahangaan ko sa kapresyan. Alam mo bakit? Dahil mas fresh pa siya sa air freshener at deep fresh. Gentlemen, to give her words of encouragement, please welcome Century Tuna Superpods first runner-up at isa sa mga ate namin sa APEER Pilipinas, kapatid na Candice Ramos.
Yan! Hello po, ate!
Yung ba yung ibig sabihin nun, walang pera? Dahil Ilocano kami. So we have we have okay. How much time do we have? Because we have a meaningful discussion this afternoon, diba? And I'm pretty sure because you guys can conduct now your own. Wow, may sarili na silang webinar. Is this what you call it? Webinar?
Dahil English yan, Arte, take it away.
Mars naman, ikaw naman. Mars, pinapressure mo ko eh. Charot.
Diba? Kayo yung magugulat ng mga questions, diba? Kayo yung nagulat ngayon.
Ayan natin. So, since katatapos lang ng Miss Universe Philippines at isa kang beauty queen, gusto ka naming hamunin sa isang challenge. So, game ka ba, ate?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Sure na sure.
Wala ka rin.
Mag-ready ba? Kasi ako mag-ready kayo, mag-ready din kayo. Okay, kasi pop quiz to.
Ready si Mars Maki.
Sa mga adding ko eh. Okay, go.
So, ang challenge namin ay answering random questions that were asked during International Beauty Pageant. So, Ate Candice, game ka na ba?
Game na! Dapat parang background music. Okay, game.
Okay, ate. So, first question. This was asked to Miss Universe 2018 Catriona Gray. If you were gonna write a song about your experiences, what would you call it?
Alam ko to eh, pinakanta siya dito eh. Hindi ako kakanta, sorry. Baka dumating agad yung bagyo. Ayoko. Kala nyo mahuhuli nyo ako. No, but no, I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna make a song. But I created a short, very short poem lang naman for you guys to enjoy. Wow, to enjoy. Okay, so it goes like, we teach, especially here in APEER, diba? So, and APEER, Ilocos, sir. We teach, but we do not preach. Instead, we learn. And to our community, we return. So, yan.
Wow,
Tagalogin mo. Next. Tagalogin mo, Kendra. Asan si Kendra? Okay, so basically that's an introduction to what Ilocos Sur, APEER Ilocos Sur is doing, you know. So we instead of us teaching what we learned from our ates and kuyas, we're actually learning from those who are sharing their lives amongst us, diba? So yan ang pinaka-core values ng APEER Ilocos Sur.
Maraming salamat po, Ate Candice. Grabe
Ito pa, isa pa, ate. Next question. This was the final question during the Miss Universe 2019. Ito yung question, ate. What is the most important thing we should teach young girls today?
Ang habang buntong hininga. I don't think we should just focus to young girls because everybody's growing together, you know, and that's the value of peer education. Together, these kids will share and impart knowledge amongst each other. And I think that's the most important thing that I'd like them to learn, to be able to embrace one another and learn from each other and, you know, pick up those that they feel might be able to help them. Tapos magkaroon sila ng mga meaningful mentors like the kuyas and ates, diba, that we started to learn from as well. Diba? Wow.
And I guess you were that one meaningful mentor. Ikaw yung mentor ko dati, ate. Tignan mo na, dito na kami ngayon.
Kaya naman mga bolero kayo. Yan ang natutunan nyo sa akin, mambola. Okay. But yeah, so from there, I'd like to shoot it out to welcoming everybody to your show this afternoon. Inakin ko yung show nyo. Sorry. But yeah, para we can go straight to our special guest for this afternoon, you know. But if you have script, you can say so now. Sorry.
Salamat ate. By the way, congratulations pala sa recent pageant mo. Naks naman. Pak na pak pa rin talaga.
Congrats, ate.
Macho, di ba? Ang macho, di ba? Thank you so much, mga addings. And next time, I'm going to see you also, you know, soar higher because of your involvement in your endeavors. Yan. Yee! Bolera.
Congrats pa, ate.
Thank you, Ading.
Ate Candice, sa bahaging ito, itatanong na namin ang pinaka-importanteng tanong sa hapong ito. Ano po ang mensahe nyo sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon at sa lahat ng kabataan?
Yeah, okay. So, I wanted to rush a while ago and go straight there, but I of course there are hosts of this event. Ayan si Maki ha. Ang dami kong mga naririnig na mga balita tungkol sa inyo na that are really, you know, heartwarming because it makes me so proud. It makes me feel so proud and honored to be part of this organization. Thank you so much for recognizing the efforts of the ates and kuyas who really pour their hearts out in developing, you know, this entire organization in the beginnings. Naaalala ko nga when we were still just dreaming about this organization, Kuya Jaime would be like, what else can we do, you know, to the community? And then imagination lang namin kayo, and then eventually now we're realizing our dreams, and that's really very fulfilling for us. Thank you so much kila Ate Clizel, kila Ate Ayumi, do you still remember? And Ate Charm, ayan, sila Kuya Bong, ayan. Yeah, and consultations with kay Ate Mario, kay Ate Anzaira, kay Ate Emmy. Those are the people who were behind our activities during those times. I'd like to thank so much si Kuya Jaime for investing a lot of his time and efforts in conducting all of these activities that we have now, you know. It's very uplifting to see your organization grow into becoming not just community-based, you know. I mean, hindi lang siya district-based organization, but also it went regional and even national as well. Sino nag-play ng music? Okay, so it went all the way to national level. You have white umbrella organization, and that's really inspiring to see. Also, I'm encouraging the kids to join APEER Ilocos because by joining this organization, you're also teaching, or you're also strengthening, apart from strengthening the organization, your next generation, you will also ready them, you know, to maintain the knowledge, to pass on the knowledge. So yan yung lagi natin sinasabi, to pay forward, di ba? To pay forward after learning stuff. Ayan! So, dahil nasimulan ko na rin magsalita, Kuya Maki.
Walang gaya.
Kuya Maki, I also have a question for you and also kay Ate Nix, di ba?
Okay,
and I love...
Okay, marami na pa.
Mute yung mic ko. Biglang minute yung mic ko.
Maraming
Okay, and
salamat
and for those who are watching, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the culture of APEER Ilocos Sur. Yung mga impromptu kulitan. Kaya tayo nagiging mas close to one another. So ito, bibong-bibong mga bata dito because they're natural-born youth leaders. Okay? So Kuya Maki, Ate Nix, ito ang lagi nating question. What is your sexiest body part and why?
Ate, alam mo, sinagot ko na yan 3 years ago at tandang-tanda ko yung sagot ko dyan.
Ano daw?
The sexiest body part, well, I can't decide because I was born sexy.
Oh, that's not your answer.
Oh,
next.
Ako, para sa akin, sexiest body part ko siguro is yung lips ko kasi it showcases my smile and I think this is my best asset, yung pagngiti ko kasi ganun po.
Ano, isang ngiti nga dyan, partner.
Yun na yun, Mars. Isang beses lang yun, hindi ko na ulitin yun, sorry.
Okay, for your final questions, what are some, what are some, or at least one, name at least one very memorable experience that you had here in APEER Ilocos Sur?
Actually, ate, ang pinaka-isa sa memorable ko is yung every training na we imagine yung 3 to 4 days lang. And after that, parang kapatid na yung turingan ng bawat isa. And that is because in APEER, we feel na safe place siya. We can open everything. We can tell everything to our peers kasi nga, we don't have judgment and we respect each other's differences.
Yeah. Check. Next, ate next.
Ako po yung pinaka-nagugustuhan ko sa APEER, ate, is yung pag-conduct po natin ng community peer ed sessions. Kasi gaya ng experience ko sa Alilem, first time ko po actually pumunta doon and nakapunta po ako doon dahil sa peer ed sessions, dahil sa APEER. So, naka-travel na nga tayo, nakatulong pa tayo. So, para sa akin, that's the best part because we meet a variety of people, nakakakilala tayo ng mga tao and yung mga kwento nila is nalalaman natin.
Very much so, diba? So, instead of teaching, that's when we actually learn from them. So, keep on doing all of these good things, mga adings. And I'm gonna leave you now this afternoon to conduct this very meaningful session and introduce our speaker for today. Thank you so much.
Salamat po, Ate Candy. Salamat sa iyong very inspiring message. We miss you na talaga.
So proud of you.
Ate. Hope to meet you very soon.
Bye, Ate. See you soon po.
I love you.
I love you. Bye-bye. Nagigil. Bye-bye. So, ayun nga, Mars. Salamat kay Ate Candy sa isang productive na chikahan na pressure ako doon.
Same, Mars. Grabe.
Okay, wag na nating patagalin pa dahil alam kong super excited na kayo para sa ating chikahan today. Gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, we have invited a guest speaker at gaya ng sinabi ko, minsan na niyang ipinamalas ang ganda ng isang Filipina sa international stage. So Mars, sino nga ba ang ating guest speaker for today's episode?
Ayan nga, yes, Mars. So ito na nga, this is it. I know everyone is excited for sure. So I have the honor to introduce to all of you our guest speaker for this #AgSARITA episode with the theme, Mental and Environmental Health Amidst Pandemic. So she finished her bachelor's degree in applied physics, majoring in instrumentation in 2011, and completed her master's degree in applied physics, majoring in medical physics in 2013. She became a college instructor in her alma mater and practiced her field in radiation oncology as a medical physicist.
After winning the Miss Philippines Earth title in July of 2017, she started advocating about the conservation of energy and embracing the use of renewable energy. In November of 2017, the scope of her environmental advocacy widened after winning the international title of Miss Earth. She is currently an advocate for the Worldwide Fund for Nature Philippines, a youth ambassador for Climate Change Commission, a host, a speaker, and an image consultant.
Ayan, so kakabsat kan gagayem, let us all welcome Miss Earth 2017, Miss Karen Ibasco.
Ayan na!
Hi, everyone!
Hello po, Ate Karen! Nag-starstruck po ako. Grabe.
At magandang hapon sa inyong dalawa.
Magandang hapon rin, Ate Karen. Kumusta po kayo, Ate?
I'm doing a lot better now, pero I'm going to share something to everyone that can really help Kasi di ba, during the pandemic season, that's really what I'm gonna talk about when it comes to environmental and mental health. Kayo na, kamusta naman kayo dyan sa Iloco?
Eto ate.
Okay naman, ate. Online
So
class,
far,
ganyan.
Ang hirap ba ng online class?
Medyo
Oo,
strategy
ate,
ate,
medyo
pero
nag-a-adjust ate, nag-a-adjust pa lang.
Pero I just really want to encourage everyone, lahat ng nanonood ngayon na nag-take ng online classes, just maximize your time right now because this pandemic will end soon para meron kayong end product.
Yes po, ate.
So ate, eto na. Gaya ng ginawa natin kay Ate Candice kanina. Syempre,
Okay.
gusto ka rin namin hamunin sa isang tanungan. Ready ka na ba, ate?
Yes, I am ready.
Ayan. Okay, first question po, ate. This was asked to Miss Universe 1973, Miss Margie Moran. Ito po yung question.
Okay.
Let's make believe that all of a sudden, you have $1 million. What is the first thing you would buy and why would you buy it?
Ooh, the first thing I would buy with $1 million, honestly, I wouldn't buy anything. I will donate it in a very successful non-governmental organization, and I work with WWF Philippines now, and I will give the money to them for research purposes of climate change, because everybody doesn't really understand and believe climate change. So with that research, it will be credible for people to understand what climate change truly is, and we will all be in the same boat in the future. Thank you.
Wow! Wow naman! No doubt, ate, na title holder ka talaga.
Ay, salamat.
So, ito po ate ang next na question namin. This was asked during the Miss Intercontinental 2017. So, ito po yung question natin. If your life would be rewritten, what would you erase and what would you let us see?
Oh, that's a very tricky question. Well, honestly, I will not erase anything in my life, and I will not rewrite anything, because everything that happened in my life has a reason for me to be here right now and to speak of the things that I've learned before and to speak of the things I am still learning until now. So life is not truly about fast forwarding or rewinding, but living every moment in this present life to show what life truly is. Thank you.
Wow! Grabe, ma. Grabe, ate.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nakakahulay naman talaga.
Grabe, Mars.
Ate, oo.
Actually, hindi ko alam yung questions, to be honest. Hindi ko alam ako ng questions. Pero favorite ko talaga yung question and answer. Even before. Kasi talagang makikita mo yung yung thoughts. Ay, thank you.
Ang galing. Ang pakahusay.
Ay, salamat. Pag nag-host ako ng provincial pageants, gusto ko yung question and answer kasi yun yung pinaka-final round.
Ate, oo, sa'yo na talaga ang corona. Ito na, bigay ko na.
Thank you. I miss my crown and I hope I could wear it again.
So, ayun ate, eto na. Amidst the pandemic, we all switched to the new normal, which served as one of the major disturbances to our mental health. As persons whose ways of combating stress are going out of towns and hanging out with friends, this pandemic has been a torture to our mental health. Staying inside the house because of quarantine protocols make us feel like hours become days. On the other hand, the battle on saving our Mother Earth has been an issue for a long time.
No matter how difficult our situations become, as long as we are alive and kicking, there is and there will always be a bright hope for tomorrow. It's okay not to be okay, but we should never forget that every problem has its own solution. As time passes by, we were able to adjust with the new normal. We were given the chance to spend more time with our families, as well as to discover some parts of us that are yet to be known. On the other hand, we can also save our environment wherever and whenever we are.
To discuss to us the environmental and mental health amidst the pandemic and to share us her inspiring story, let us give a round of applause to Miss Earth 2017, Miss Karen Ibasco.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start. Maraming salamat for inviting me. To be honest, I'm very honored, and I always have various audiences. But one of the things I really like is having an audience that is mostly youth, because you are gonna be the next generation after us. So I want you to understand facts. I want you to understand things that you can pass on to the next generation after you. Kaya today, ang pag-uusapan ko ay two topics that I found something within a connection to it. So I'm going to talk about environmental and mental health amidst the pandemic. Okay. Now, bakit nga ba tayo lahat nasa bahay? Remember, we are in this pandemic because of a coronavirus. Now, hindi mabilis yung virus na to because virus is something that you cannot see, that you cannot smell, pero mararamdaman mo na lang siya kapag nasa loob na siya ng katawan mo. So it's something that is very hard to fight against, but what we can do is to have a vaccine para protektahan ang ating mga sarili. Ngayon, ang COVID-19 is, ang magiging result niya sa ating katawan is based on a respiratory system problem. In short, pumapasok siya sa either ilong or bunganga at magkakaroon ka ng problem with your lungs. That's why they always say to always wear your... Our host,
mask.
Can anyone tell me? Your mask.
Our
yes,
mask.
That is correct. Kaya pag lumalabas kayo, kasi importante talaga siya. Now, if you would remember, bakit nga ba tayo nasa loob ng pandemic? Based on research, wala pa talagang nakakaalam kung saan talaga nanggaling yung coronavirus. But, so far, what we know of is galing siya sa animals. So, in short, it's still environmentally connected. So, I'm going to talk about the environmental health as of now. Since lahat naman tayo nasa bahay, kailangan yung maintindihan ang environmental health, nangyayari pa rin siya mas nasa loob tayo ng bahay. Kasi it's still connected with climate change. Ano ba yung mga bagay na kailangan yung maintindihan? Ano ba yung mga sources ng climate change? At nakaka-affect pa rin ba yung mga ginagawa natin ngayon during pandemic sa climate change? Okay, I hope that you would lend me your ears for a very short time, and I'm gonna do my very best to make it as fun as possible. Para nag-lecture lang ako in class na ng virtual. Marami nagtatanong sa akin, paano ba ako nag-start? Paano ba ako nag-start with my environmental journey? Alam mo tao, when I was introduced earlier, I am a physics graduate. And nakapag-take na ba kayo ng physics? I'm quite sure nakapag-take na kayo ng physics, tama? Okay. Kasi usually kapag tinatanong ang physics, ang unang pumapasok sa mind ng tao is motion and acceleration and all that. Pero pag tinanong mo kasi yung word ng physics sa isang physics graduate, the first thing we think about is usually energy. So when we talk about energy, sabi ko, paano ko kayo makakonect yung energy pag sumali ako ng Miss Earth? Tapos nag-research ako sa environmental sciences kasi hindi ako taga-environmental science na field. So what I did my research, and one of the biggest problems that we have nowadays is what we call as climate change. And one of the biggest sources of climate change is what we call as parang carbon emissions. So what happens is that when you burn all those carbon, it goes to the atmosphere and increases all these things that trap the heat. So may connection siya kasi lahat tayo may access to electricity. And it's connected with energy. And since the Philippines still uses a lot of coal power plants, and when we burn them, we release a lot of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, such as carbon. So nakahanap ako ng connection. Kapag may problem, may solution. So ang naging solution ko was to promote about conservation of energy and the embrace of renewable energy. And that's how my journey started environmentally. I started advocating about the conservation of energy and the use of renewable energy. Are we still good?
Yes, pa ate.
Yes. Okay. I'm not going to make it too long. So for my next slide, when I became Miss Earth 2017, I started traveling the world. It's one of the perks about being Miss Earth. You get to travel from Asia to Europe to Africa to South America and to North America, and to really see the things that will happen or the environmental things that do happen in the planet. So I was able to see that. But when I was able to see that, there were also things for me to learn. And I continually did my part to educate other people and to learn more about the planet. So if I would ask you a question, what is the most serious issue facing our world today? 45 unique responses identify that climate change and the destruction of natural resources are actually one of them. And in the Philippines, this is very, very common. And you would really agree with me that there is a lot of things that we have to address environmentally when it comes to the Philippines. For the next slide, I'm going to give you a brief basic science when it comes to environmental science. Everybody knows that in the solar system, you have a sun and you have the earth. Now, it was originally created that when the sun gives us sunlight, there is what we call as greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Meron siyang tamang level. But what happens is that the sunlight that goes to the earth, some of it goes back to space, and some of the sunlight is trapped by the greenhouse gases that becomes heat. Kailangan kasi ng heat sa planet para mabuhay ang tao, ang plants, at ang animals. Because kapag walang heat, hindi tayo mabubuhay. This is what you call as the greenhouse gas effect. The greenhouse gas effect is what we call as when the heat of the sunlight is trapped in the earth because of what we call as greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Now, if I may ask, ano bang mangyayari kapag in-increase mo yung amount ng greenhouse gases sa atmosphere? In short, ang mangyayari kapag in-increase mo yung greenhouse gases, you would also increase the amount of heat that will be trapped in the planet. In short, parang mas lalong iinit ang planet. Yun yung tinatawag natin global warming that leads to climate change. And then one time, I was asked a question in Miss Earth. Sabi niya, okay, Miss Ibasco, since you understand about climate change in your own words, how can you explain climate change to a 5-year-old kid? That was a very tough question because when you're a speaker, you have to make your audience understand what you're trying to say in layman's term. Or kung baga maiintindihan nila yung i-explain mo. So nag-start akong mag-isip. Sabi ko, ano nga ba ang pinaka-best way for me to explain a climate change to a 5-year-old kid? And then, naintindihan ko na it's like the science of the human body. Climate change is quite similar to that. Since ang isang katawan ng isang tao, kinakailangan mo ng heat para ka maging buhay. Kasi pag wala ka ng init, ibig sabihin wala ka ng buhay. Dahil minsan, dahil sa sobrang daming stress or because that kid eats so much ice cream and then you don't sleep at night on time and you eat so many things that you should not eat, yun yung tinatawag natin external things. And what happens is that kapag nasobrahan yun, nagkakaroon ka ng fever. Kahit mag-add ka lang ng 1 degree Celsius, nagkakaroon ka ng sakit. And that is also what we call as, it's like the planet is having a fever. So that's how I would explain it to a 5-year-old kid. Climate change is like the earth is having a fever. The same in your body. When you do too much, when you eat too much ice cream, and you don't sleep early at night. Okay, now, what are the sources of our greenhouse gases? Now, marami kasing sources yung tinatawag ng greenhouse gases, such as air transport, land transport, water transport, such as coal mining, burning of a lot of trees and coal power plants and industrial things, and so much more. So marami palang nangyayari sa planet na dahil dito, na-increase yung greenhouse gases because of human activities. So these are the things that we have to understand and we have to address. Don't get me wrong, I am not against them. We just have to limit them and know kung hanggang saan lang natin sila pwedeng gamitin. Now, for the next slide, I want to show you 3 facts that the Earth truly is undergoing climate change. The first one is what we call as the Earth is warming. Ibig sabihin, umiinit yung planet. Paano pa nalamang umiinit yung planet? Meron bang temperature? Well, there are scientists that have measured what we call as the global average temperature, meaning they understood that the temperature of the planet has increased for a big chunk since pre-industrial times. Ibig sabihin, umiinit talaga yung planet. So this is something that we have to address because this is not a good sign. Now, for my next slide, you would see here, it's going to be just a little graph. Please bear with me. You would see here yung temperature at carbon dioxide, both on the y-axis and on the x-axis, you would see the year from 1880 to 2016. It's not linear. For those who are in school, this is not a linear graph. But you would see that from the year of 1880 to 2016, habang dumadagdag ang tinatawag na global average temperature, it is connected with the carbon dioxide concentration. Meaning, habang dumadami yung pag-release ng carbon dioxide or carbon emission, tumataas din daw yung temperature ng planet. At nanggagaling yung carbon dioxide concentration because of human activities. So the second one that I want you to understand is that on my next slide, we will see that the sea level is rising. The sea level is very important because the planet is composed of mostly water and not land. So we are surrounded by water, especially the Philippines. So when we say the sea level is rising, this is something that we have to be alarmed because there's so many islands in the world. And the Philippines is composed of a lot of islands, as we know of in our school. And this is something that we have to think about because the people in our coastal communities will be hit hard first and not people in the cities. And on my next slide, you would see that the third one, the ice, is melting. Ngayon, yung planet kasi, there's what we call as ice in the North Pole and South Pole. It's quite important for us to understand that we have to maintain that ice because there is a balance in the planet. Hindi pwedeng puro tubig, hindi pwedeng puro init, hindi pwedeng puro lamig. Kinakailangan meron tayong tinatawag na balance. At kung makikita nyo dito, in 1984, this is from NASA, ito yung area ng ice na nakita nila from a satellite. And in 2012, ito na lang yung naiiwan. That is not a good sign dahil pag umiinit, natutunaw ang yelo at tumataas ang tubig. So those are the three basic things I can really show you based on facts, based on scientific researches and experiments. The climate change really is happening. Okay, here I want to focus on the water. Since makikita nyo talaga na merong mga areas na before or after, I believe this is in the Pacific Ocean, one of the areas in the Pacific Ocean, that day may tinatawag tayong buhay na coral reef, and you would truly see the colors. And after quite some time, because of climate change, what happens is that the reefs die and they bleach. At kapag nangyari yun, that is not a good sign. Dahil when all this carbon dioxide goes to the atmosphere, ina-uptake din siya ng tinatawag nating oceans or seas, because one of the biggest victims of climate change is the waters. So what happens is that there is what we call as ocean acidification and increase of water temperature. At pag namatay ang corals, that is not a good sign kasi mawawala din yung fishes at saka yung ibang marine species. At mawawala ng trabaho yung mga fisher folks at mawawalan tayo ng kakainin. So that is not a good sign. And one of the things that we have to focus on is plastic pollution because the Philippines is known for plastic pollution. I know that you have seen a lot of videos on YouTube, on Facebook, that you would see these marine creatures such as sea turtles, seabirds, and butandings that eat all these plastics that we throw in the ocean. It's sad because they cannot distinguish plastics from their food. So what they do is they tend to eat it. Ang nangyayari kasi namamatay sila kasi hindi kaya i-digest ng katawan nila yung plastic. Pero ang sad part about this, because their bodies are decomposable and plastics are not, kapag namatay sila, mawawala yung katawan nila, pero yung plastics, babalik siya sa ocean. So it's a cycle. That's why we really encourage to refuse single use of plastic and plastic na hindi mo kakayang or makakayang i-recycle. And one thing that we can really say about the plastics is that they do not decompose, but they degrade into small pieces called microplastics. And it's easier for you to eat it. It's easier for animals to eat it. It's easier for you to eat it because you eat the fishes that goes or comes from the ocean. Now, on our next slide, we would understand and we would see that we have been the cause and there is always a solution. There are things that you and I can do from our very homes, even though this is the time or the season of the pandemic. The first one that we have to do or we can do is to conserve your energy. Kapag nasa bahay kayo, hindi niyo ginagamit yung kuryente, yung aircon, yung ilaw, walang masama na patayin nyo muna at i-on nyo na lang kapag kinakailangan nyo ulit silang gamitin. Yung pangalawa, reduce your food waste. I know na maraming tao na sometimes they just buy everything from the grocery stores and then hindi nyo naman nakakain. Nasisira lang. That is not a good sign. One thing that I would want to share as well is to diversify your diet. Did you know that the global livestock industry, meaning the cows and the pigs, produces more greenhouse gases compared to all cars, trains, planes, and ships combined? Meaning, when you say no to that burger, you're actually helping the environment. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the type of person who would tell you, go vegan or go vegetarian. No, I'm just telling you to try to limit what you eat. Don't eat too much meat. That's why it's called diversifying your diet. Meaning you eat less meat and you try to put vegetables and fruits on your diet as well, or in your diet rather. Now the next one, we would see here that we can conserve our water. Do not forget to turn off your faucet so tightly that there are no water dripping from it, because water is very vital. Water is something that we cannot live without, and we always need to have clean water. Next one, we have to learn to protect our forests, because the forest or the trees is what we call as a carbon sinks. Ito yung nag-absorb ng carbon dioxide, sila rin yung nag-release ng oxygen for us. And marami ding nakatira na biodiversity or animals doon sa trees. So we have to learn to protect them, because protecting it or biodiversity is also helping the balance of ecosystem, which is something that we need. And the next one is to use bikes and to use trains kapag malapit lang naman yung ating pupuntahan. Huwag laging gagamit ng kotse kung malapit lang sila. And on my next slide, we can see here, I always share it to people, please let us refuse the single use of plastic. I know halos lahat kayo merong tumblers at hindi lang ginagamit. I would highly encourage you to use your tumblers, especially I'm talking to the youth right now and you have a lot of events. Try to refuse that plastic or single plastic bottles that you give out. And I hope that this is a great organization and I could really share to you your thoughts. You can have a refilling station and encourage everyone to bring their own tumblers for my events. You don't have to give out those plastic bottles anymore because they increase so much of the pollution of plastic. And refuse what we call as single-use plastic straws and just simply bring your metal straws and your bamboo straws no matter where you go. Or just simply don't use straws. I mean, you're not going to die if you're not going to use a straw, right? You can actually just refuse it. Don't take any single plastic straws or single-use plastic straws, and you can just simply drink it from the cup itself. And always use your eco bags, especially when you do your shoppings and your groceries. Now, there are also other things that we can do, such as, have you heard as what we call as plastic solutions? Pwede nyo kasing gawin yung plastics nyo in eco bricks. Tapos, meron lang silang drop-off locations. You can search them on the internet or Instagram. They're actually what we call as plastic solutions. So you can have more ideas how to recycle the plastic. And kapag nasa area kayo ng Manila, if ever pupunta kayo dito, there is what we call as also the Plastic Flamingo. It's actually a recycling center for plastics. Kasi may mga bagay na, hindi siya single-use plastic, pero kasama kasi siya kapag binibili mo. Yun yung mga plastic na nakakasama, like kapag sa groceries, kapag nakapack yung vegetables and fruits. So what you do, you segregate that and you can bring it to a recycling center. And the next thing that we can do or we can learn from is always remember the 3 R's. In Miss Earth, we call it 5 R's, but generally it's actually 3 R's. But I really like what we do in Miss Earth because the first one is to rethink, reduce, reuse, recycle, and respect. So we just add rethink and recycle, which is a great thing because these are actions that really comes from the heart, or actions that come from the heart rather. And we always need to learn how to reuse, reduce, and recycle these things. And do not forget to educate other people, such as your family, your parents, and your friends. When you see them that they're actually not doing the things that can help the environment, you can say it in a very honest but very kind way. You know, sometimes you can actually show it to them. That is the best thing that you can do rather than just simply saying it. Because sometimes when you say it and you don't do it, it's better than you just do it than not say it. You know, actions speak louder than words. So the next one that I want to focus on is another aspect, which is the mental health. Bakit importante ba yung mental health nowadays? Because everyone is just in their houses and a lot of people are just, you know, in the same community or the same house, literally 24/7. This is something that I want to focus on as well. Don't get me wrong, lahat tayo pinagdadaanan to or pinagdadaanan yung tinatawag na sometimes it's hard, but you really have to cope up. So let's go back to this slide. Since this is the pandemic, so far based on October 25 that I did my slides, there have been 43 million coronavirus cases in the whole world and about more than 1 million deaths that have already happened. At the recovered naman, do not forget the recovered. The recovered numbers are very important. The recovered numbers are 31 million in the whole world. Now, on the next slide, you can see in the Philippines, so far based on October 25, or sorry, can we go back to the slide? There have been 370 cases at that time, which already increased by now, and we have deaths almost 7,000. So this is something very alarming because anyone can have it. And going on my next slide, because I also had it. This is something that took me by surprise because I honestly didn't know na makukuha namin siya, but I did have it. So I am a COVID survivor and my whole family. Before you judge me, hindi ako yung tipong taong lumalabas basta-basta. So we don't know how we got to COVID-19 because we are so paranoid in the house. We're so careful. We did every protocol the government said, but we still had it. So on my Instagram account, you can search me. I really shared a little bit of sharing to people that I did have COVID-19. And I even shared, if you slide on that specific post, there are institutions, or rather, there are hospitals for you to get swabbed. Kasi yun lang yung way para malaman mo kung nagkaroon ka talaga ng COVID-19. And what I did is you can search me on YouTube. I'm just starting with a vlog. I'm not super consistent, but I'm going to do my very best to be consistent. I started doing vlogging and I did a COVID journey. Dito, it's going to be more detailed of how I got it and what are the symptoms I had, what are the things that I did. Kasi honestly, hindi namin alam yung gagawin nung nagkaroon kami. So I just wanted to share my journey. If ever magkakaroon kayo in the future, do not panic and you can follow the things that I actually posted on my blog, which is very informative because it's something that I did to share my story and my whole family. Okay, if I'm going to go to the next slide, this is from the Department of Health. This is not my own pictures. When you go out, always wear your mask all the time. And the next one is that I want you to understand, always do social distancing, at least like a meter away from each other. And the next one is to wash your hands at least or 20 seconds so you can sing happy birthday, finish it, and after the song, it's done. That's how long you have to wash your hands. So if you really want to get paranoid at times, you can always wash your hands and bring your sanitizers and alcohol all the time. Walang problem doon. So this time, since I want to focus on the mental health aspect, how do we cope up with the pandemic mentally? This is a mental aspect. So the first thing that I want to talk about is you have to learn to be grateful. That is the first thing that you have to understand. Because gratefulness is something that you can practice upon opening your eyes in the morning. You have to be grateful. You have to look around you. There are so many things for you to be grateful for. Yes, there is a huge setback for humanity, but that cannot paralyze you from continuing to live your life as you should. Kasi hindi lang naman ikaw nakaka-experience nun. Lahat ng tao na-experience yun. So you have to be grateful. Be grateful that your family is safe and together because there's just so many people dying nowadays. And it's something that people really think about. Death is like knocking on their door. A lot of people are seeing that now. Be grateful that you eat at least 3 times a day. There are a lot of people that can't even buy food now, and they have a huge problem of what they would still feed their families tomorrow. Be grateful that you have gadgets to watch this talk. Be grateful that you have online school. Mas hindi kayo makakapunta ng school. So there are so many things for you to be grateful for. Please, you have to go out of the box and open your eyes and look around you, because being grateful is also contagious. You have to learn, you have to go to the next slide, you have to learn to share that love to other people. On the next slide, you would see there that I gave, to look around you. Let's go to the next point. In the next point, you have to see, I became a plantita. Actually, even though I miss Earth, I'm not the type of person who have plants at home kasi malamok siya dati. But I do a lot of tree planting activities because I understand how plants are very important in releasing oxygen and carbon dioxide. But I don't do it much at home. So nung nag-start yung pandemic, dun ako nag-start mag-plant ng trees, mag-plant ng other things, and urban gardening. So that's what we did. It really helps mentally because Dr. Eugenia South, there's a study, there's a growing body of evidence that green space can have an impact on mental health. Meaning, kapag nag-create ka pala ng small green space at home, it can help you mentally because it gives you hope. You see that it grows when you take good care of it. So it really helps you mentally. So if I were you, I would start doing this now if you haven't started. There are so many plants being sold. There are so many seeds being sold as well. You just have to study them. The next one is to create good habits. In this pandemic, you may not know that you have perhaps created bad habits already. So when you start creating good habits, the things that you want to understand is you need to want that change. You need to understand that you want to change something. That's why you want to create good habits. You need to have a desire of changing it. The next one is to be intentional. You have to go out of your way to really understand and to imprint that good habit in you. Other people say it takes 21 days to create a habit, but other authors say that it takes more than 21 days to create a habit. Nonetheless, you just have to be consistent, and that is my third point. You have to be consistent if you want that good habit. It just doesn't happen overnight. You have to do it every single day. The fourth one is I want you to understand your worth as a person. This worth is very important. And I want to focus on social media because I know a lot of kids, like literally everyone is going on social media. So I want you to understand on my first point that on the first point on the slides, we can see that you cannot overindulge yourself on social media. Because if you overindulge yourself on social media, it's like you're breathing and living Facebook or Instagram. This is not good because sometimes other people just tend to focus on how many likes, how many comments I'm going to get per post, or what did you say about me? What are the things that you did not say about me? Sometimes what happens is that you tend to lower down your mental health because you tend to focus on what other people are going to tell you, and you just can't handle negative comments anymore. Sometimes when you focus on social media, you tend to focus and compare yourself with other people. You focus on the things that you don't have, and you focus on their perfect life, seemingly. But there is no such thing as that. So I want you to understand, don't let social media blind you of the truth. Instead, use it to show what reality truly is. Because that is what really social media is supposed to be created for, right? The next one, don't get validation and acceptance from social media. As I've said, do not depend yourself on likes and comments of other people. I know sometimes when you look at your post, you want to see how many likes did I get, umabot na ba ako ng ganyan, or nag-comment ba siya. Don't get your validation on social media, ever. You need to understand yourself before you go on social media because your worth is not based on your social media. Don't ever think that because you have a lot of followers, you are worthy. You are the same. Either you are the same with the people sitting next to you, whether you have 10, 100, 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, and so much more. Let's go back to my previous slide. On the third one, don't fight back on social media. Do not fight back on your bashers. Wow, may bashers. Pag may bashers, medyo sumisikat ka. So sometimes it's hard, but you just need to understand that they're spending so much time with you and you don't need to go down to their level. Please, if you know yourself and you know the truth, you don't have to fight back. No matter what other people tell you, you will not allow other people's comments to affect you if you know yourself and you know the truth. So other people's comments are not important. The comments of other people that are important are the people in your circle of influence. You need to understand that. You need mentors, you need people that love you, and you listen to them. You don't listen to the people you just met, like yesterday on social media, because they followed you. Malalaman mo lang they followed you because they want to say bad things about you. Sometimes there are people who are so perfect, but other people still hate them because people will always find something bad about you to ruin you. Sometimes, it's existent in life and it's sad, but you have to make the positive side of that in that situation. So can we go back to the previous slide? Sorry. The next one. I have a rule. Can we go to the next slide? Can you go back to the next slide? I have it too. Yeah, another one. Yeah, I have a rule. My rule is if you can't take it, don't read it. I have a strong personality, so I read all the comments and I don't care. Honestly, I have a strong personality. Perhaps we're not the same. So I have a rule. If you can take it, don't read it. Because I have a lot of friends that cry after they see their posts on Instagram and after they read all the comments. So if you're like my friends, don't read it. But I have a strong personality. Yeah, you will get hurt, but then you won't listen to what they say. So that really depends on your personality and if you can take it or not. If you're gonna be fully affected, then don't read it. The next one is you have to understand, you have to think before you type. You think for the people that sometimes you want to fight back, sometimes you want to think about this and that. So you have to think before you do something. You have to think before you type because you can always make fake accounts, right? Or perhaps they know you and then you're going to fight back. So if I were you, think before you do things because there are always consequences to your actions. The next one is I want you to understand the next tip that I can give you is to feed your mind with insightful things during this pandemic. Huwag ka naman mag 24/7 ng Netflix or puro K-drama. I don't have any issues with K-drama, but I want you to understand that there are also things that you have to balance. In Netflix, meron tayong tinatawag na life-based stories. Meron din tayong tinatawag na documentary, so you can learn a lot of things and not just focus on the K-pop and K-dramas, which you can, but not 24/7. And focus on your studies first before you watch Netflix. Second one, there is what we call as podcast. Ang daming podcast. You can just search the topics that you want on podcast. And it's on Apple, it's on Spotify. And when you search podcast, ang dami doon kasi you can just walk and go to school and listen to podcasts before you go to your classroom. So it's very, very helpful. And then the next one is books. Let's go back to the basics. Books are awesome. Read, read, and read. Always have something for you to read. It helps you better your English, it helps you better your grammar, your construction of sentences, your vocabulary, and so much more. You have to feed your mind with good things. Huwag ka puro social media. Kasi ang hirap kapag negative na nga yung nakikita mo, yun yung nafe-feed mo sa sarili mo. Kaya you're gonna have a hard time. That's why sometimes people are just, they're mentally down because they focus so much on the negativity on social media. Next is I want you to understand to surround yourself with positive people. You have to surround yourself with your families. Let's go back. Sorry to the previous slide. Okay. You have to surround yourself with positive people that really, really loves you because they can really help you during this time and they can really, really support you. So these are some of the few tips. There are 6 tips I can give you how to cope up with the pandemic and how to help you with your mental health. And before I end this, I was asked this question, next slide, in front of millions of people. Next slide, please. Okay, I was asked who or what do you think is the biggest enemy of Mother Earth and why? I would just twist my question a little bit or my answer a little bit because I wanted to be fixed with the topic about mental and environmental health. I believe that the real problem in this world is not climate change or this pandemic. The real problem is us because of our ignorance and apathy. What we have to do is to start changing our ways, to start recalibrating our minds and redirecting our steps, because together, as a global community, our micro efforts will have a macro effect to help save the planet and humanity itself. Maraming salamat po.
Isang masigabong palakpakan. Actually, Mars, na-mention ni Ate Karen kanina ang climate change. And sobrang timely niya ngayon kasi may padating po na super typhoon sa atin ngayon. At sana naman...
Oo, Mars, yung Rolly. Sana, I hope and pray na makakaya nating malagpasan ang paparating na super typhoon.
At yan nga, Mars, and sana hindi na po maulit yung Yolanda pa bago pa tayo mag-act para po sa ating kalikasan. Ayan, salamat po, Ate Karen, at sobrang na-touch din po ako sa kwento mo that you are a COVID-19 survivor. Na-shock ako doon sa part na yun. You are an epitome of a strong woman. Napakahalaga din po sa ating mga kabataan na sapat ang ating kaalaman din po sa mental health at dapat din mapagtuunan ng pansin.
Yan, so tama ka dyan, Mars. Kung paano natin inaalagaan ang ating physical health ngayong pandemic, ganun din sana sa ating kalusugang pangkaisipan o ang ating mental health.
Kaya nandito rin po ang APEER upang maging kaibigan at kapatid sa ating kapwa kabataan. Alam nyo, Ate Karen, partner, nakakatuwa lang na may mga pagkakataon sa amin po na kung minsan na pumupunta kami sa mga community, may mga ilang nagbibigay na sa atin ng message o di kaya ay nag-open up na ng kanilang mga problema. Kasi nga po, APEER ang nakakausap nila.
Tama ka dyan, Mars. Dahil mahalaga rin sa ating mga kabataan na habang tayo ay bata pa, mamumulat na tayo sa mga bagay na maaari nating gawin upang mapigilan ang climate change. Sirang plaka man sa iba, pero ang 3 Rs o reduce, reuse, recycle ang mga pinakasimpleng bagay na kayang-kaya nating gawin.
Of course, wag din natin kakalimutan na kayang-kaya din nating hikayatin pa ang kapwa nating kabataan na isabuhay ang mga nabanggit ni Ate Karen kanina na gaya ng paggamit or pag-reuse ng mga bagay gaya ng tumbler na sinabi ni Ate Karen kanina. Dahil ika nga ni Ate Karen sa kanyang very trending answer noong rate niya, our micro efforts will have macro effect to save our home or our planet. Ate Karen, question lang po.
Yes.
Your reign was 2017 pa po, tama?
Yes.
Ito po yung question namin. What made you stay on advocating on the young people?
Oh, that's great. Because the young people is the next generation. And ever since I was young, I've wanted someone to mentor me. And I guess that now I'm given a great platform. And I know the next generation is going to be the next line after us. I want to do everything that I can, not just for the young generations, but also for the people who doesn't believe in climate change and other things like youth leadership or leadership in general, to really encourage everyone to continue in life.
And it's actually a cycle, di ba, ate, na kapag nasa iyo sarili mo, na-apply mo na, ipasa din natin sa iba para magtuloy-tuloy. Magtuloy-tuloy yung cycle, na patuloy na inaalagaan ang ating pong kalikasan. Ayan, partner.
As I said kanina, diba, we have to learn to educate other people. That's why I continued my journey, even after my reign.
Yan, grabe naman talaga. So, sa bahaging ito, Mars, tignan naman natin ang comment section para sa mga katanungan ng ating viewers tungkol sa ibinahagi ni Ate Karen.
Ayun, una na partner. Ito yung question ni Marco Joshua Cabildo. Hello, Marco. This is the question. Miss Karen, Ate Karen daw po, what is your message to us, environmental advocates, and give us tips on how we will be able to make a great impact on our community?
That's a great question. Well, honestly, I honestly want to encourage you to continue, because you will be tempted to stop, but I want you to remember that you are not alone on that boat. There are so many advocates, ambassadors for the environment, such as me, and a lot of ambassadors with WWF Philippines and other organizations. And we continue doing our part. So I hope that you will not stop doing your part as well, because we cannot do it on our own. The reason why we're here and we share our voice is because we need all people to be on the same boat with us. We were just the first ones that their eyes were opened, and we want to encourage everyone to do the same because we need each other. And for the tips, I hope you were listening earlier because those are the tips I can really help you with.
Yeah.
Partner?
Ayan, Mars. So, next question tayo. Ayan, so ang next question natin is from Mac Jefferson Soria Leones. So ate, ito po yung question niya. Ate, what do volcanoes have to do with climate change since madalas ang pagbuga ng mga vulkan the past years?
This is a good question. And I think that it's good for you to open this in class as well, because this is going to be a topic on earth sciences. Okay, volcanoes are not related to climate change. I want you to understand, because it might be environmentally, but it's not connected with climate change. Climate change is environmental sciences, and walang kinalaman ng volcanoes because volcanoes are based on the movement of tectonic plates. Climate change is different because you can see it when you release greenhouse gases. It goes to the atmosphere, as I explained earlier. So earth sciences, when it comes to volcanoes, are not connected with climate change, but they're both environmentally. So you need to understand these things for you to know how climate change happens.
Ayan, thank you so much, Ate Karen.
Wala na ako masabi. Ang galing.
Thank you, Mars.
Hello, ate. Sorry, ate. Medyo starstruck pa ako.
Salamat.
And it's an honor, ate, na alam namin na sobrang busy ng schedule mo, pero napakaswerte po na ang Ilocos Tour na pinaunlakan po ang invitation namin para po sa young people ng Ilocos Tour sa lahat po ng sumusuporta sa hashtag AgSARITA.
Very well.
Salamat po, Ate Karen.
You're very welcome. Sorry, as long as it's for the youth, I would love to do my part.
Thank you so much, Ate Karen.
Bigyan nga natin si Ate Karen ng isang masigabong palakpakan. Yung sobrang...
Yes, Mars.
Ganun.
Power talaga. Power clap talaga, Mars.
Salamat.
Ayan. Any last message po, ate, sa mga kabataan ngayon?
For the people, for the young people, I highly want to encourage you that even though this pandemic is a huge setback for you and for all people, you have opened and you are in a great chapter of your life, and do not stop it. I want you to continue with the things that you know and maximize this time to learn more things for you to grow as a person. Don't stop and put your studies first. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Ate Karen.
Salamat po. And learning is continuous. Hindi po siya natatapos. So, kailangan tayong mag-aral ng mabuti upang buhay ay bumuti. Ate Karen, maraming salamat po sa oras nyo.
Thank you also.
Salamat po, ate. Maraming salamat po.
Hi, thank you.
Do we have to say goodbye? Yes.
Okay.
Kasi baka hindi tayo matatapos. Joke lang. Bye-bye po, ate.
Bye, ate. Nice meeting you po.
We hope to see you in person po, ate.
I would love that. Bye.
Thank you, ate. Thank you so much. Ayun, order. So, eto naman, since na-meet na natin si Ate Karen, sa puntong ito naman, alam namin gusto naman ninyong mag-enjoy at manalo ng papremyo!
Tama ka dyan, Mars, talaga, grabe. Ayan na. So, kaya naman tinatawagan na namin ang kapatid namin sa APEER Ilocos Sur. He is an advocate, gaya natin, a trained peer educator from Batch 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, para i-lead sa atin ang game for tonight, let's all welcome Zerex Jan Cabe, also known as Peace. Peace.
Yan.
Hi, Mama Mars! Maraming salamat sa pagkakas. Hello! Energy! So,
Kumusta
ayan na,
naman
Mama
dyan,
Mars.
Mars?
Kamusta kayo, Mars?
Mars? Mars, pakamute ka ata. Mars, na-excite ka masyado.
So, maraming salamat sa pag-welcome sa akin, Mama Mars. Hello, mga kapatid. Kamusta naman kayo?
Eto Mars, okay naman. Enjoy na enjoy ko ang ating hashtag AgSARITA. Ikaw, kumusta naman?
Eto, okay naman.
Mars, kamusta naman yung mga modules mo dyan? Kamusta naman yung online class natin? Ako!
Natin ako tarbakan.
Anyway, peace. Siguro, stretching na yung mga viewers natin ngayon at alam kong handang-handa na sila sa ating online games. Ngayon, huwag na lang magtutumpik-tumpik pa. Peace, take it away.
So, yun nga, Mars, no? So, gising-gising mga kapatid, dumating na tayo sa isa sa mga highlight ng gabing ito. Ito ang pinihintay ng lahat. Sana all hinihintay. Baka naman may mabugaw kayo dyan. So, mga kapatid, handa na ba kayo sa palaro? Kung handa na kayo sa palaro, mga kapatid, pwede ba tayo mag-send ng heart to act sa ating live ngayon and mag-comment ng ready? Ayan. Hindi ako nakamute. Hello. Handa na ba mga kapatid? Ayan, may nagsasabi na red. So yan, para mas clear sa ating lahat, ang game natin ngayon ay tatawagan natin sa Filipino, pabilisan. Para mas at kung paano laruin ang game natin ngayong hapon, ito po ang ating mechanics. Waiting. Yan. Antay lang po natin na ipakita po yung So mga kapatid, habang hinihintay na ipakita po yung mechanics, yung slide po, maghanda-handa na po tayo kasi pabilisan po ito ng kamay. Pabilisan po tayo.
Yan, so mukhang medyo technical problem na tayo, Mars. So,
kahit alam mo ng technical problem, dapat yung energy natin is meron pa rin.
Okay, shout out muna tayo sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon dahil alam mo excited na silang manalo. Shout out kay Patrick Marcaida. Baka pangatlong panalo mo na to, ah.
Hindi lang pangatlo, Mars, baka pansampu na ito, Mars.
Grabe ka na nanalo.
And shout out daw kay John Moore at kay Kendra. Huwag na kayo sumalian.
Shout out din natin si Maybel Gapatan na talagang super duper pinag-effortan talaga na naghanda na super duper nakaabang sa ating AgSARITA episode.
Ayan, shout out din daw kay Marco Joshua Cabildo. Alam mo si Marco, support siya dito sa part na to kasi ayun, may national pageant siya. I-represent din niya ang province of Ilocos. So, good luck, Mars. Abangan ka namin.
Shout out sa kapatid ko dyan, si Emmanuel Arde. Grabe, Mars. Ito siya. Chat siya ng chat kanina pa. Gusto niya na daw niyang magpa-shout out. And shout out din, sabi ni Banjan Dangalan, shout out kay Jerson. Ano to? Agal-alat tirabong.
Pa-shout out po kay Kuya John Ezekiel Jaramillo Tabios. Hi, Master. Love manuals while watching. Salamat sa suporta.
Maraming salamat sa mga patuloy na sumusuporta sa atin dyan. So, eto pa. Shout out kay Verna May Pagaduan Razo. Hello, Verna. Shout out din tayo kay Mark Edison Corpus. So, grabing dami-rami nating mga viewers. Mars, talagang super active na nagpapa-shout out sila sa ngayon.
Shout out mo din, Mars, si Mark Edison Corpus. Shout out ko na din si Mark Lorenzo Corpus. Wow mo kang magkapatid to, ah.
OMG, Mars, siguro nga, baka may, alam mo na.
So, ayan, mukhang ready na ang slides natin. Ayan.
Ayan.
Miss, isa pa. Take it away. Maraming salamat, Mars.
Po tayo mag-start for this afternoon. Babasahin po muna natin ang ating mechanics of the game. Ayan. Number 1, kailangan lang sagutan ng mga ibibigay na katanungan. Number 2, ilagay ang inyong mga kasagutan sa comment section. Number 3, ang mga box ang magiging gabay at clue sa mga sagot. Number 4, paunahan kung sino ang makakasagot sa mga tanong. Ang number 5, ang APEER technical team ang pipili kung sino ang unang nakakapagbigay ng tamang sagot. Number 6, ang mananalo ang tatanggap ng 100 pesos worth of load. Last but not least, number 7, the most special thing for this live is mag-enjoy at matuto. So ayan mga kapatid, nabasa na po natin. Handa na ba kayo lahat? Pag handa na kayo lahat, pwede ba tayo mag-send ng heart react sa ating live ngayon, mga kapatid, no? Ayan. Clear na ba sa atin ang mechanics na mga beshies? Clear na ba? Kung clear na, pwede ba mag-comment tayo, mga kapatid? Proceed. Proceed na po tayo sa number 1. Number 1 is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Ano nga ba ito? Fill in the blanks eh. Nagigising yung utak ko, dapat sana kayo rin. Since nanood kayo kanina, dapat alam natin to, no? Mga kapatid. Aware naman tayo lahat dito. Very common nga tong word na to. Ayan. Ayan, marami nang sumasagot. Ang tanong, tama nga ba ang mga sagot na ito? Ayan. Number 1 is the state of a complete physical. Ayan, may nanalo na. So, pwede na po ba nating i-reveal kung ano ang tamang sagot? Ayan, ang sagot for number 1 is health. And our winner for this number 1 question is who? Who? Sino nga ba? Ayan, si Ate Ami Joy Fabros Valdez. Ayan. Congratulations, Ate. Ayan. Number 2 is defined as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his own or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to her or his community. Ayan, medyo mahaba-haba ito mga kapatid, pero itong tanong na ito is familiar nga ba sa atin? Aware nga ba tayo? Uulitin ko po ang tanong. Number 2 is defined as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to her own or his. Pabilisan po tayo. Ayan, we have a winner, mga kapatid. Pwede na po ba natin i-reveal ang answer for number 2? Ayan, mental health. So, our winner for this number 2 question is who? Ate Trish Nella, mental health. Ayan, congratulations. Meron ka ng 100 pesos worth of loan. Ayan. Energy, mga kapatid. Number 3 is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Ano nga ba ito? Minsan napapaisip din ako kung ano yung totoo nararamdaman ko eh. Ano nga ba? Like ngayon, ano kayo nararamdaman ko? Repeat po natin, number 3 is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. It can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Comment down below your answer, guys. Ayan, daming sumasagot. Yan. We have a winner for number 3. Pwede na po ba nating i-reveal kung sino ang winner? Pwede na po ba nating i-reveal kung ano yung answer for number 3? Ayan, stress. So, our winner for number 3 question is... Tada! Mary Joy Valdez. Congratulations. You have a 100 pesos worth of loan. Yan, mga kapatid, huwag kayo mawala ng pag-asa, marami pang chances. Number 4 is an emotional state characterized by feelings of unhappiness and low mood. It is considered one of the basic human emotions. Basic human emotions. Number 4 is an emotional state characterized by feelings of unhappiness and low mood. It is considered of one of the basic human emotions. Yan. So, huwag kayong kabahan. And dami nagko-comment. Ayan, we have a winner for... So, can we reveal what is the answer for number 4? Ayan, sadness is the answer for number 4. And who is the winner? Kuya John Ezekiel Jaramillo Tapios, I don't know. Pero congratulations anyways. Ayan, so let's proceed for number 5 question. Number 5 question is your body natural response to stress. It's a feeling of fear or apprehension about what's to come. The first day of school, going to a job interview, or giving a speech may cause most people to feel fearful and nervous. So what is the answer for this number 5 question? The question is very long, actually. Yeah. So, wag niyong pahirapan yung sarili niyo, mga kapatid. So, question number 5 is your body natural response to stress? It's a feeling of fear or apprehension about what's to come. The first day of school, going to a job, interview, or may cause most people to feel fearful and nervous. And by the way, guys, we already have a winner. So, can we reveal what is the answer for number 5? Ayan, anxiety. So, the winner for number 5 question is Elizabeth Fontanilla. Congratulations, you have over 100 pesos worth of loan. Ayan, proceed for number 6. Ayan, mga kapatid, energy, wag kayo mawala ng pag-asa. Number 6 is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest, also called major depressive disorder that may affect how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. Ayan. Gisingin natin ating mga sarili, mga kapatid. Repeat ko po. Number 6 and loss of interest. Also called major depressive disorder that may affect how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. Ayan, mga kapatid, comment down below your answer. Huwag kayong kabahan. Ayan, wag kayong Oh, we already have a winner, guys. Ayan. So the answer for number 6 is depression. And so who is the winner for number 6? Yan, John David Valdez, congratulations. Meron 100 pesos load, worth of load. Ayan. Mga kapatid, smile. Huwag kayong kabahan. And marami pang chances. Meron pang 4 chances. Actually, let's proceed for number 7. Yung accept the natural world as a whole or in a particular geographical area, especially as affected by human activity. Repeat ko for number 7, the natural world as a whole or in a particular geographical area, especially as affected by human activity. Comment down below your answer. Ayan, marami nagko-comment. What? Environment. Pabilisan, mga kapatid, no? Ayan. We have a winner for number 7. Ang bilis, grabe. Napaka-active. So let's reveal the answer for number 7, mga kapatid. The answer for number 7 is environment. Ayan. Who is the winner for number 7? Congratulations, Scarlett Hazel Crisologo. So let's proceed for number 8 question. Number 8 question is a change in the pattern of weather and related and related changes in oceans and land surfaces and ice sheets occurring over time scales of decades or longer. Repeat ko, number 8 is a change in the pattern of weather and related changes in oceans and land surfaces and ice sheets occurring over time scales of decades or longer. Yan. So guys, comment down below your answer. Ayan, ang dami, grabe, napaka-active ng mga ano natin, nakaka-proud, grabe. Sana laging ganito, ang dami natin viewers. So we have a winner for number 8. Let's reveal the answer. Climate change is the answer. Who is the winner? Ayan, Godwin. Congratulations, Godwin. Hi, shout out sa'yo, my friend. Ayan, let's proceed for number 9 question. Number 9. Oh. And number 9 question, a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment. We have a technical error. Wala na daw pong number 9. Cancel po number 9. Let's proceed for number 10. And the ecosystem is the answer of number 9. Let's go. Recovering scrap or waste and processing the material into useful products. Is the process of recovering scrap or waste and reprocessing the material into useful products. Number 10, what is it, guys? Bilis. Ayan, no? Grabe. Nakikita nyo ba to, guys? Daming nagko-comment. And we have a winner for number 10 question. What is the answer of number 10 question? Wrong spelling. Wrong. Recycling. Okay. So let's reveal who is the winner of number 10. Trixie Tagorolo. Congratulations po sa inyo. And maraming salamat mga kapatid sa inyong pagsubaybay sa live ng APEER. #AgSARITA.
Less than 2 hours.
Ayan.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Sana all may pang-load. OMG.
Congratulations.
Sana all may pang-load para makachat yung jowa. Pero sana all. Pero sana
module
all.
Na yan. Module.
May jowa. Ayun, ang saya naman ng game na yon. Alam mo, Mars, pagka-participant ako, lumalaban din talaga ako sa mga games na yan. Talagang nilalaban ko kahit pasmabi yung kamay mo, kahit nanginginig ka pa.
Oo, Mars. Talaga. Kahit dito talaga.
Ganon. Alang-alang sa 100 peso, no?
Alang-alang sa pera, Mars. Isusugal ang lahat talaga.
Isusugal talaga yan.
Anyway, dami nakaka-proud doon. Dami naman nag-answer. That means maraming active.
Ayan, sobrang active.
Wala pa natin ang ating mga sarili.
Ayun, salamat kapatid na Pisa. Sana naman ay nag-enjoy po ang ating mga viewers tonight. Ayan, so magpapaalam na tayo kay kapatid na Luis. Ayun, bye.
By the way, sa ating mga viewers, sa mga nanalo po sa game natin, yung mga prizes is makiklaim po natin, i-message po natin ang ating mga, message nyo po kami para i-claim nyo po yung mga prizes. Yung cellphone numbers po ninyo, ibigay po ninyo sa amin. I-PM nyo po.
Nang sa ganun po ay maipadala din po namin ang mga napanalunan ninyong 100 peso loan.
I'm so sorry. APEER team will message the winners po pala. Hindi po kayong magme-message sa amin. Kami po ang kukontak sa inyo since nandito naman po sa amin yung listahan ng mga nanalo.
Ayun. So, abang-abang lang po sa mga PM ng APEER sa inyong mga messengers.
Ayan. So, Mars, ayun na nga, asahan ninyong mas marami pang prize at chikahan ang ating pagsasamahan sa mga next episodes pa natin.
Ayan, Mars, paalala din po ulit sa ating mga viewers i-check din natin ang ating mga message request. Dahil maaaring nandun din po ang message natin. Kasi minsan hindi natin nakahalata yung mga message requests natin. So, ayan, tama nga partner, sinabi mo kanina at sana ay patuloy pa nating suportahan ang mga susunod na episodes pa ng APEER Ilocos Tour. Ngayon, before tayo magpaalam, let us all welcome ang isa sa pinaka-fresh daw na BOT at pinaka-powerful sa larangan ng leadership skills dahil siya ang SK Federated Vice President ng SK Santa Cruz at makailang beses na rin na-feature ang kanyang mga programa pagdating sa pamumuno dahil na lang ng kanilang Project Adal. Lahat of to give this closing remarks, let us all welcome Kuya Edgar Loquiao Jr.
Ayan.
Oh,
Hello po,
Hi,
Kuya.
Maki. Good evening. Hi.
Fresh naman.
Power, grabe ah.
Kamusta kayo? And congrats, napakagaling yung mag-host ng ating AgSARITA ngayon.
Thank you so much.
Alam mo namang idol na idol kita pagdating dito, Edgar.
Siyempre, inspo, alam mo na, inspiration natin.
Edgar?
Should I proceed with my closing remarks na?
Sige na, laban na. Laban na.
So, once again, congratulations sa APEER Ilocos for successfully conducting our third episode of AgSARITA. At nais natin pasalamatan ang ating guest kanina. We have Ate Karen Ibasco, ang ating Miss Earth 2017. Siya rin ang Youth Ambassador ng Climate Change Commission at of course ang ambassador ng Worldwide Fund for Nature. Again, thank you Ate for sharing your experiences and for sharing your experience.
Oops na mute.
Mars, Edgar?
Mars?
Hello?
Governor
Mars?
Napaka-supportive na ama ng probinsya. Nandiyan din ang ating best vocal, ang senior board member ng Ilocos Tour. We have Kuya Jaime Jimboy Simpson. Maraming salamat, sir. Nakasama din natin kanina ang isa sa mga pundasyon at ate ng APEER Ilocos Tour. We have Ate Candice Ramos. At of course, nais natin magpasalamat at magbigay ng warm hug sa President ng YPEER Pilipinas, ang pinaka-fresh at energetic na President, Kuya Ralph Ivan Santon. And nais din natin pasalamatan ang lahat ng peer educators ng APEER Ilocos from batch 1 to 3 at sa mga napaka-energetic at committed na board of directors. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. I hope na manonood kayo ngayon. And I am sure that we will continue leading the organization. And of course, I would like to give thanks and appreciation sa lahat ng mga nanood at sumusuporta ng ating AgSARITA, at I hope that you continue supporting the next episode of AgSARITA and all the activities na ikakandak pa ng APEER Ilocos. Again, congratulations to our very good host. We have Maki and Nicole. Yun lamang at maraming salamat po. Keep safe at please follow the minimum health protocols para safe po tayong lahat ngayong COVID-19 pandemic.
Maraming salamat
po, Kuya Edgar.
At nais din natin i-shoutout pala yung mga nasa likod ng ating screen, yung mga nasa tech natin. We have Frank, we have Kendra. Sino pa yung mga kasama natin mga kapatid?
Si Harps din, nandito kanina. Ayun, salamat po sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa atin. Of course, si Kuya John Marwala. Magpatampo yun. At syempre, of course, nagpapasalamat din po kami sa lahat ng mga kabataan at sa lahat ng sumusuporta po sa hashtag AgSARITA. Nawa ay patuloy po nating suportahan ang ganitong programa natin para po sa mga kabataan. Mula po dito sa APEER Ilocos Tour, we are extending virtual hugs sa inyong lahat.
Hugs!
Hanggang sa susunod na hashtag AgSARITA, muli ako po si Mark Jerichomina o Maki na nagsasabing hindi lahat ng pogi nag-aartista dahil yung iba nag-host ng FB Live at yung isa magpapaalam na.
Ayun, so ako rin po ulit si Justin Nicole Arde or Nix na nagsasabing kung ang kagandahan ay kasalan, Patawarin niyo po ako, tao lang.
Gusto ko yun. Muli po mga kapatid, maraming salamat po. Kita-kits sa ating susunod na hashtag AgSARITA. Agtutubo, umay kay tumanen, ta AgSARITA tayo. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po. Bye!
Shout out mama, papa, mga kapatid ko. Salamat sa panonood. Mga kapitbahay ko dyan, nanood sila.
Sa mga tropa ko dyan, grabe sa sporta.
Bye, salamat po.
Shout out din po.
Ay, sana all. Hello, yun ang ating salamat sa inyong lahat.
Ay, mga Mars.
Hello. Ang cute. Yes, success na naman.
Congrats, everyone!
Hello po sa lahat ng APEER na nasa kanilang mga bahay. Hello po sa inyo, yakap mga kapatid.
Stay strong.
See you.
Shout out po pala kay Ma'am Ranpel Cabradilla na nagbigay.
Ayan.